Hello, and welcome to our video on screen addiction. In the world we live in, technology has dominated the lives of countless people. Just this generation depends on technology to do almost everything, and for the most part, it makes life much easier. However, like any other innovation, technology has its negative effects. This new generation cannot live without technology. Every other person you see on the street has a phone in their hand and their eyes glued to a screen. Can we really sum this behavior up as a simple dependence? With the growing dependence on screen devices, a new term has emerged: screen addiction. Screen addiction refers to the overdependence of users on their devices, usually showing symptoms similar to that of addiction. In today's report, we will be going over a few examples of screen addiction, the statistics revolving around the behavior, techniques and methods used to deal with screen addiction, and a few innovative ideas to change up an app to better combat screen addiction. With the vast multitude of numerous apps and technologies available today, there are many different examples of screen addiction that can be seen. One such example can be found on YouTube. YouTube is full of videos that can be used for educational and entertainment purposes, and many users find themselves spending large amounts of time on the site. Users have the ability to subscribe to certain content creators and get notified when new videos from said creator come out. They also have the ability to like videos, allowing the YouTube algorithm to suggest videos that the user is more likely to watch. All of these factors come together to draw the user in, tempting them to spend more and more time on the site. However, the most important factor in this process is the technical aspect of the autoplay feature. The autoplay feature allows the site to automatically start the next recommended video after a set amount of time, giving the user all the more reason to stay. Another example of screen addiction can be found on Instagram. With Instagram, a user is able to see the pictures and videos posted by other people and companies around the world. As soon as the app is open, the user is able to see hundreds of pictures if they wish, and, as users scroll down, posted videos will play automatically, further enticing the user. Users may get hooked on the idea of catching a glimpse into other people's lives and not notice how quickly the time goes by. But how is this possible? The answer lies within infinite scrolling. That provides users with an endless amount of photos and videos to view once they reach the end of their personal feed, allowing users to get lost in the things that interest them. One final example of screen addiction can be seen through Facebook. Facebook users are bombarded with hundreds of posts and engaging content to look through, allowing them to get lost in a sea of content. Users are able to like posts that they find interesting, which lets the app gather more information to suggest more relevant posts to the user. The algorithm in this example is another major technological component that plays a major role in the screen addiction cycle.
From the recent statistics that have been gathered from a survey sent to undergraduate students at Virginia Polytech Institute and State University on how many hours they spend looking at screens, out of the 16 students surveyed, 11 students spend more than 6 hours on their phone each day. The students averaged about 7 hours a day solely on their phones, while some students have an extreme time to about 14 hours a day. Other students spend up to 1 hour and 30 minutes on their phones. From the feedback received from the students, the majority of students have said their productivity level decreases when their phones are around them, and their motivation to work and study is also less. As students who said they averaged 8 hours on their phone said, it can be both a mood booster or a hurdle that causes procrastination and stress, which means it might also have positive effects on students and not all of them are negative. Another student who also averaged about 10 hours looking at screens said, using my phone and laptop is necessary for school. So to a certain extent, my productivity and academic success depends on me spending more time on my devices. However, I believe diminishing returns applies in this case where a certain amount of time it becomes detrimental to my productivity and mental health. Using my phone for things like social media or talking to my friends and family just increases my screen time. But I think these things are also necessary to a certain extent since it is impossible to stay connected otherwise. which would also affect my productivity and mental health negatively. I think it is crucial to find a balance and limit screen time in your free time and find other activities instead, since using screens is also integral to the work students have to do every day. The high number of screen time for undergraduate students does seem to be because they absolutely need phones and laptops to work on their schoolwork. Specifically during the times of the pandemic, because there are no in-person classes and students have to attend classes online, finish work, and do everything on their phones and laptops, which gives them no other choice. There are a few ways people can deal with screen addiction. One very common thing in recent times is downtime. Specifically, iPhone has a feature called downtime, which sets a schedule for time away from the screen. During downtime, only apps you choose to allow will be available. This helps limit your screen time and helps you focus on other important things and be productive. Another feature the iPhone offers is app limits. If there is an app which you use too much and it disturbs your focus, you can put a time limit on it. For example, I have a time limit of 30 minutes on my app TikTok because every time I open it, I tend to scroll through it for hours, which decreases my productivity and distracts me from doing the things I have to do during the day. Another way to limit the time you're looking at your phone is to charge it outside your bedroom. Majority of the people check their phones when they wake up and also scroll through their phones before they sleep. If their phone is charged outside their bedroom and isn't immediately accessible to them, they will use it less.
We will now go over innovative ideas for Instagram that would help combat screen addiction. The first innovative feature would be a setting that allows the user to disable infinite scrolling. With infinite scrolling, a user will reach the end of their personal feed and be greeted with intriguing posts suggested by Instagram, tempting the reader to stay and spend more time on the app. By allowing the user the option to disable infinite scrolling, the feed would just end when they catch up to the most recent posts. Older posts or suggested posts would not be shown, and no extra options to show anything else would be given at the end of the feed. Another innovative feature would be to give users the ability to hide the bar of stories at the top of the app. By surrounding the unwatched stories for an account with a purplish outline, users are tempted to watch the easily seen stories and turn the light to a dull gray outline, getting rid of what could be classified as a type of notification ticker. By giving the user the option to hide the stories bar, they would have a harder time accessing every story from the accounts they follow, reducing their screen time. The final idea would be to add an optional app lockout feature. The app currently has a feature where you can set an alert for when you reach a certain amount of time spent on the app for the day, but users are able to just click OK and keep scrolling. My proposed feature would kick them out of the app when they hit their limit and lock the user out of the app for 1 hour. All in all, screen addiction is a problem in our technologically advanced society that will continue to grow as technology progresses further. In order to reduce the problem, it is imperative that we find ways to combat the amount of time spent looking at our screens.